Hello everyone, this is Dr. Mihir Shah once again with another video. In this video, we are going to learn about what are participatory notes, also known as PNotes. We will learn this with the help of an example. Thereafter, we will be learning about what are the various advantages and disadvantages of participatory notes. So let us see what do you mean by a participatory note. Now, participatory notes, which are also regarded as the P notes, are the instruments issued by the registered foreign institutional investors, or in other terms, they are also known as the FIIs. Now, the participatory notes are issued for the overseas investors who wants to invest in the stock market in India but without being registered under SEBI. So now let's take this example. Okay, there is Mr. X from US. Okay, he is an overseas investor. He wants to invest in stock exchange of India. However, he does not want to register under SEBI. Okay, in that case, the foreign institutional investor comes into the picture. Okay, and how does this particular participating note works? Let us read ahead and we'll get an idea out of that. They are they are used by the clients of the foreign institutional investors who do not wish to participate directly in the Indian stock market. So these investors, they basically don't want to directly invest into stock exchange. They want it through some broker, okay, or through some intermediaries. So here the foreign institution investor acts like an intermediary between the overseas funds or the overseas investors and the Indian stock exchange market. The participatory notes are also regarded as the offshore derivative instrument as they are used by the investor abroad but not within India. So in simple terms, participatory notes are nothing but, okay, those are basically funds which overseas investor want to invest in stock exchange of India. However, it does not do it directly. It does with the help of a foreign institutional investors. Now, let us take an example to understand participatory notes. Let's say Chris wants to get maximum return on the investment in quickest possible time. For this, Chris will have to find risky securities. Now, securities can be in the form of shares or bond in the third world countries, then invest the money from one country to another quickly depending on how the market moves. So if Chris wants to get maximum return at a very quick time, securities or shares or bonds are the only way where you can earn very quickly, but they are quite risky. Okay, in that case, he'll have to transfer the money from one country to another, and that also depends how fast the share market moves. Now, everyone knows that in India, no one can invest in share market without getting the PAN card and demat account. Other nations too have similar mechanism. But if Chris tries to get PAN card and demat account in each third world country, then his profit will decline given the cost of running branch office, staff salary, demat fees, etc. in each country. So if he wants to invest in India, okay, he cannot invest this directly without accessing the PAN card or the demat. So he'll have to first open those two accounts. Only thereafter he can buy share. However, by doing this, he will incur a lot of costs. So to take a shortcut, what does Chris do? Chris will contact some middleman who is already registered as an FII, okay, has PAN card and demat in India. Let's take an example, HSBC Bank. So HSBC in this case is now the foreign investor, okay, or foreign investors institution, okay. It is registered in India, it has PAN card and demat account in India. Chris will now give money to HSBC with the instructions to buy A, B, and C shares or bonds XYZ in whatever quantity he wants. So now these shares will be bought by HSBC and that will be the FIS portfolio. Now HSBC buys Indian shares, okay, they'll be stored in demat account of HSBC itself and it won't be given to Tom. But then HSBC gives a receipt to Chris listing the shares or bonds purchased on his behalf and stored in HSBC's demat account. This receipt is called as the participatory note. So when an offshore investor wants to invest in India, okay, but does not wants to open or make a PAN card or a demat account, does not want to register under SEBI, okay, he catches a middleman, that is the FII, who is already registered in India. They buy shares on behalf of the investor and they issue a receipt. That receipt is nothing but the P note or the participatory note. This receipt is called participatory note. Now, technically, it is also called an offshore derivative instrument. Now, observe those three words. Offshore means because foreigners owning something in India without coming to India or opening office in India. So that's the reason they use the word offshore. So here the foreign investor, he does not have anything in India, okay, but he still owes, the shares of India. Derivative because this receipt does not have value of its own. It derives its value from the market value of the shares and bonds held by HSBC. Today it may be worth, let's say, $1,000. However, tomorrow it can increase to $12,000 also, depending on how the price of Indian security move. Third, instrument. Now that is quite self-explanatory. This is one type of financial instrument to invest abroad. So that's the reason participating node is also called as offshore derivative instrument. Now the next question comes is, where is the profit in P notes or where is the profit in promissory notes? Now Chris has two options. Number one, wait and watch. If the price of the shares goes up, Chris can give a call to HSBC and tell him to sell them. HSBC returns the principal amount along with the profits to Chris after cutting commission. Now Chris returns the P note receipt to HSBC. So this is how one way profit can be earned under P note. The other way is it can sell this P notes receipt to any other foreigner, let's say Tony. Then Tony again has the same two options. Number one, he can wait and watch and earn profit, or he can sell it to another person also. This is how the P note work, and this is the basic mechanism of the participatory note. Now let us go through the roles of foreign investors institutions in P note mechanism. Number one, the FIs are international mutual funds or institution who basically invest money in Indian security markets. Second, they participate they participate directly in the securities market and their investment activities can be monitored effectively. The shares which they purchase are listed in their own names in the register of members of a company. So here the foreign investors details are not included. Okay, there's no need of mentioning the foreign investor detail. Or they only have to take the money from the foreign investor and then they can buy on their own name. The P note are traded on OTC basis through the issuing entity. The P note holder do not incur any capital gains tax as the P note issuing entity has still not sold the underlying security. Effectively, the market for P note is unregulated, whereas the investment by FIIs are regulated. Now let us go through various advantages and concerns of participatory notes. Number one, the participatory notes plays an important role in the Indian economy. A large proportion of the total investment are made through the participatory notes by the foreign institutional investors. So they play a very important role in the Indian economy. The instrument gained popularity as FIS to avoid the formalities of registering and to remain anonymous, started betting on stock through this route. However, their anonymous nature is also a cause of concern as these investors could be beyond the reach of the Indian regulators. Also, there is a view that it is being used in money laundering with wealthy Indians, like the promoters of company, using it to bring back unaccounted funds and to manipulate their stock prices. So this is one of the big concern of the participatory note. Now, for this reason, SEBI has taken a large number of steps to tighten the rules of PNote. Okay, so with this, the topic on participatory note comes to an end. So here we learned about what is participatory note. Okay, we saw the mechanism with the help of an example. How does participatory note, works? Then what is the role of FIIs and what are the advantages and concerns of participatory notes?